All right, so this is Kanon's video. You guys know who Kanon is, right? Everybody knows who Kanon is. This was made 9 days ago, so like I waited a little while to react to it. But he says, is Black Desert in 2023 worth playing? My full honest review. Okay. Most people know Kanon. He came over from Lost Ark. And so like, yeah, so he came over from Lost Ark. He's been playing BDO for about 3 months now. Two to 3 months, I guess 2.5 months or so. And I'm curious what his take is here.
Before I became a full-time content creator, I spent thousands of hours in BDO before quitting. I recently returned to the game to check out all the new changes and updates, and after a couple of months of playing the game again, I'm ready for my honest review. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor.
Oh, Jesus. This video was brought to you by Rogaine. Reported.
Box elements outside of the player-driven.
You guys are gonna come onto my channel someday, and it's gonna be like, like, oh god, it's just gonna be my head with fucking like
bring content in non-linear approach to the progression as we see in Sandbox.
I would kill that sponsor. I'm not gonna lie, I would absolutely kill that sponsorship. Absolutely dominate it. You're welcome.
Games, BDO also has a variety of PvP content. PvE wise though, this game has a very different focus in comparison to our current popular MMOs. First, let me start things off by giving you a basic streamline of the game. First, you'll start on what's called a season server and run through the game by completing your main story quest line.
Okay. Honestly, so far so good.
Which will give you your first set of gear.
I like that Kanon did this video just because like he's actually spent the time to make a video like this. Most of the time when I'm reviewing a video, it's like my honest review of Black Desert Online, 20 hours played, woo! You know what I mean? And we're just absolutely grilling it. So I was hoping that Kanon had a really good review.
After finishing, you'll upgrade that seasonal gear to its max, which doesn't take very long, by the way. Then the game essentially opens up to where you can do whatever you want with a lot of horizontal and vertical content to choose from. While I won't go into the exact details of how the season works, seeing as this is not a guide video, just know that it's a system designed around separating new players and allowing them to progress extremely fast and amongst each other with the option to move on to the regular servers at any time. The new player experience for BDO can be quite the overwhelming one.
Overwhelming is a good way to put it.
I refer to it as kind of like the MMO version of...
At least they have 20 hours on like Cade. Cade has 20 minutes. Don't undersell it.
Of Path of Exile. A great...
Yeah, first player experience, but all I did was talk about the game. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no actually... I was kind of hoping that he would give me, like, the review. It's like, he's just talking about the game. This isn't, like... It's... Like, this is just telling you about the game. Like, it's not... I was hoping it was going to be, like, his thoughts on the game.
Great game because of...
Redeem's still off? Yeah, it's because we're doing reacts, big dog. Pretty sure he gets to the review later. Okay, good.
Layers and depth, but also a very overwhelming one to get into.
This is not the horse that you want. This is not the horse that you want. The other horse. I thought I wanted this horse. Okay? There are many like it, but you don't want this one.
Because of that very thing.
Hey, where's the Doom at, bro? There's no T10 Doom in this photo, bro. There's a T10 Uni. All right, there's a T10 Peggy, T10 Uni. All three T9 horses, bro. Where's the Doom at? You want them all. Yeah, but that's the last one.
How many people quit or never get into Path of Exile because of this? BDO is plagued by a similar thing. While Pearl Abyss has done a fantastic job implementing catch-up mechanics and speeding up progression to the end game while not upsetting those that have been around for years, they haven't done a great job when it comes to the streamlining and the introduction of its game to new players.
Hell no. He right about that, bro. That's the biggest complaint that people have is like the new player experience is what the fuck is going on. Honestly, the biggest complaint that I see people have with Land of the Morning Light is, unironically, it doesn't have enough combat. That's the best part of our game, and they don't let players actually do it until like much later into the storyline. Like, they're trying to focus on the worst part of their game. And in fairness, it is better. But like, also, you could have just let them do combat by making the bosses way harder. Like, make the bosses in the main storyline quest actually difficult to do, and like force them to like learn use some of the skills on their class and like level stuff up and like enjoy the combat a little bit. You know what I mean?
By that? Well, part of the overwhelming experience comes from clutter. BDO has a lot of point.
As far as this new player experience goes, honestly, the biggest thing is that like you're plagued with all these new items that you have no idea what any of this stuff does. I'm not really sure what the fix for that is, to be honest with you. Like, because most of the items in the game do have a purpose. They could take out some of the stuff from the main storyline quests. But like really the streamlining of the main story is very simple. The Land of the Morning quest lines are pretty good. They could be better, but they're pretty good. Add more combat, make them harder, like allow new players to actually use the combat systems in the game. Show people what makes BDO fun. Okay? Make them, I don't know, make them zoom in on the pores of their skin and respect their character. You know what I mean?
Outdated items and quests that simply don't need to be in the game anymore.
Best looking T10 is the T10 Uni. That's probably true. Even if you could run on water for everybody forever, nobody would prefer the Dine. It's just a desert horse not used. Well, no, I think that running on water forever, I honestly would love that. Wouldn't that be cool? I also don't think it would be broken. Like, what if you just gave it to them for like 5 straight minutes? They could just run on water. Like, there are certain things you could exploit node wars and stuff with that a little bit, so you got to be a little bit careful with that. But like, aside from that, there's really no reason not to let people drift instant excel in the water like that. You know what I mean? So
Abyss needs to clean up their game in this regard. Layers and depth is one of BDO's strong suits at the end game, so I'm not calling for a dumbing down, but the early game can certainly be cleaned up. No one needs this catfishman scale item that drops from cat.
Yeah, stuff like this. Unban Drantharis. There you go, buddy.
Fish mobs, for example. It wouldn't matter if there weren't.
Yeah, like stuff like that can definitely be cleaned up. There's a lot of stuff like they don't need to be giving you this stuff necessarily. Yeah, I mean, like some of this stuff like this just has purpose, you know, like this stuff has purpose. This has a purpose. This has a purpose. Like all this stuff has a purpose, and it's a symptom of the fact that BDO as a game has so many systems involved. But like also, this is not a new player's inventory. This guy has literally every single... What are we doing right now? Could we have shown a new player's inventory, Kanon? Like really? Like this dude's got 3,000 weight. Yeah. He's got 192 inventory slots, and he's got every single pure black stone in the game, dude. Love you too. Thanks, Planetary. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're making more right now. That's fake uni. No, it's not. Is this really fake uni? I think it's fake uni that edited the footage. Fake edited this video? I feel like his stuff would be in the... No, oh! He did. He did. Okay. All right. Well, that explains why... Bro, we could have used a new player.
A lot of items to begin with, but it does matter.
No, don't throw that away.
Hundreds
of
random...
Put the gun down. It is fake uni. Wow, you guys are on it.
Items in the game that are given to the player early, forcing the brand new player to question.
None of these are things that new players are gonna have in their inventory.
What they should.
This dude's got. They're not gonna have RBF potions in their inventory.
Do with them. What makes this worse is that
some
of these items are
right.
actually very significant, while others are completely pointless, and it's just a lot to digest for a brand new player. A lot of things in BDO are very much a figure it out yourself design at the moment. Anytime you couple that with a lot of systems, you're going to turn away a lot of players who simply don't want to read a long guide on how...
What up, Marvin? How you doing, buddy?
One of many systems work, especially when they don't.
2 times spicy ramen. Thanks for the reset for 3 months, buddy. Welcome back to the squadron. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Don't even know the significance of it. Questing can also be troublesome.
Why is Fake always deleting stuff? I don't know, man. He's just trying to throw away Agris coins and stuff.
As Pearl Abyss hasn't removed or fixed up on outdated quests, picking up absolutely pointless quests in the early game or even.
That's probably my biggest gripe with BDO currently. Is that everything, their idea of like guiding new players is we'll just add a quest line for it. Like that's their idea of guiding a new player through something. We'll just add another quest. Add another quest. Bro, nobody is going to the suggested tab and like looking for these quests. No one does that. No one clicks on this. You're lucky if we hit O on accident and see the ongoing quest. A new player is going to do this, and then once the main story's done, they're never going to use it again, right? Like, it just, like, we don't actually use this menu very much, and they constantly make new quest lines for everything. Everything. Like, even for something as basic as like a nader band, right? A nader band should be something that's like given to you through the main storyline, and it should be like integrated to the main story, like together. So like as you're doing the main story, here's a nader band and how you use it, right? Like, you shouldn't have to do this extra side quest that's in like your suggested tab, and it's like you have to go over to Tariff and do this dumb, like, screw that, bro. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that.
On outdated quests, picking up absolutely pointless quests in the early game, or even worse, experience a bit overwhelming. As a new player, BDO is best played if you have someone to guide you through it. If you do, the experience is actually really fun. This is why a lot of returning players end up going through a short honeymoon phase every time they come back.
Sudden Huevos, how'd you get so cute? Only through your support. 3 months, welcome back, but I really appreciate that. Hey,
however, this, in my opinion, is not a great design. I can see the sandbox nature appeal to this, but I personally think that Pearl Abyss can simply do better to allow brand new solo players to enter the game and not be overwhelmed and reliant on a guide. Endgame in BDO can be...
I will say, you be careful what you ask for there. You be so careful. Content creators are so quick. It's not going to affect me. If they introduce tutorials for literally everything and perfectly implement it so that a player never has to look up a guide, is Blue really affected? No, because I don't really make a crazy amount of guides. But like, there are a lot of YouTubers that's careers would just be over at that moment. Like, be careful what you wish for when you say, we want all of these, like, oh god, we don't like looking up guide videos. We don't like looking up all of this stuff to try to get help. Like, there are certain YouTubers who shall remain nameless, hello guys, that actually with their careers would just be turboed. That's it. It's just done. So like, I don't know, man. There's a certain like amount of community interaction that I think that the developers are kind of going for when they try to force players to actually look stuff up or ask other players for help. Now, that doesn't mean they couldn't be doing a better job. I think that a better solution to this than like, oh, introduce tutorials for everything, is force them to join a guild right at the start. Force them to get involved in a community where they can ask questions to other players right at the beginning. So like, again, they can ask the community for help. It forces you to engage with other players. It forces you to engage with the community, which is at the central like dogma of like a successful MMO. Because again, we're not all here because the game is like crazy good. Yeah, BDO is a phenomenal game, but we're here because the community is amazing. Right? You play MMOs so that you can play with your friends for thousands, if not countless hours. It does not matter how many hours you have in BDO. You will just keep playing it because all of your friends are playing it and you're having a great time together, and that's just how it is, right? We're all playing it for the community. Force them to engage with the community early on, ask questions, then the tutorials and everything become way less of a problem because a new player has like an outlet to begin asking, and then like they're much more likely to stay with the game because they have a community to interact with.
Categorized into 3 different parts.
I use group chat and find a small streamer that will help me. See, there you go. Right on. You can always ask me too if you join the Discord, or you can just try to drop by my stream chat. I can't promise I'm going to see it though. There are certain things that shouldn't need guides, but there are some that require tutorials because otherwise you'd make too many mistakes and lose time. That's absolutely true. In some cases they need to just implement tutorials, and then in other cases I think just forcing them to pick a guild right at the start and like get involved in the community, because again, that's a critical part of an MMO, and like staying with their game. I think their game would be much more successful if they did that.
PvP, PvE.
Now me and the small streamer are friends. Well, now me and you are friends, buddy.
Life skilling.
I promise I check my Discord every single day. I check it like 15 to 25 times a day. Constantly responding to stuff. Sometimes I'm hanging out in voice and like the comms are open and stuff. You should be in and like if you need any help at all or like have questions, or like even just want to watch a movie or just hang out in voice, I recommend joining the Discord. Because like if you ever need anything. Okay, all right, let's see. Well, I lost track.
Into 3 different parts:
Okay.
PvP, PvE, and life skilling. Starting with the PvP, Black Desert provides a lot of content, fairly meaningful content. Really, any sandbox MMO that has PvP will allow
What guild was that? What guild was that?
fairly meaningful content.
Who made the
Really,
cut?
any sandbox.
He's got a sombrero with sunglasses on, boys. What guild is that? I need my boys from the other regions to help me out. I don't think that's an NA guild. Hola, ¿cómo estás? It sounds like
MMO
probably one of the Spanish skills. Spider-Man sombrero.
As PvP will allow you to make a name for yourself, and it's no different in this game. Open world PvP is a thing with Guild Wars. Not only is there an open PK server with an extra drop rate incentive, but you can also experience war declarations between guilds with a scoreboard to tally who's up.
Kindred, you're up huge. Get fucked, Ingenium. Okay.
Up. Sieges and node wars are a thing as well. As a guild, you can team up to take over actual territories in the world. There are multiple layers to this, including specific nodes that are gear capped, allowing even new players to
Yeah, I don't know where any of these guilds are.
And of course, there are rewards that come with winning. Competitive PvP is also a thing with ranked seasons and leaderboards under a gear equalized rule set, as
We no longer have Arena of Solaire, F.
well as prestigious events
Moose is still a good grinder. It's an amazing grinder. Always will be.
hosted by PA.
Especially at low and mid-end spots. It's like some of the best in the game. At the high-end spots, they just buffed the crap out of it, so it's like still really good.
Pitting individuals or guilds against each other to see who the best is. Really, if you're a PvP fan, it'd
For
be
Awakening anyway. Succession's always been good at grinding.
a complete shame not to try this game.
Suck Mystic PvP, 1v1s, absolutely incredible. I would say like small scale, absolutely incredible. Single target damage is second to none. Has a grab, is really protected, does amazing. But as you add more and more people, she becomes less and less effective because like your tankiness effectively goes away. So like, just bear in mind, in like super large scale PvP, you're gonna have a really bad time. But in like lower T1s, she's probably gonna feel pretty good, and then anything under that, she's gonna be great.
Game, it's the complete package in terms of available content when compared to our modern day MMOs. From a PvE perspective, BDO has always been notorious for lacking in this department.
Meiwa is always is better than Musa. I wouldn't say that. I would say that they're both good at certain things. Suck Meiwa is considered one of the highest DPS classes in the game right now, but it did get nerfed recently. And like Moose is just always just like a really solid all-around class in both specs. Awakening Meiwa has its issues for sure, but like it's still really solid. I think both classes are good. I don't think one's necessarily better.
Really, the only PvE content BDO had to offer originally were grinding mobs endlessly, which most players did to gear up for PvP. However, over time,
Grats, Dova, man, you got that Vels Archie. Be huge gains, bro.
PvE evolved and had
okay, hold on. Now he's talking about PvE.
to gear up for PvP. However, over time, PvE evolved and had almost an ARPG-like appeal to it, where mobs would become increasingly difficult with mechanics, but higher rewards providing more dopamine to the player.
That's true, but none of us want to do it because of crystal loss. You want my copium, boys? Do you want the copium? I think that at the Calpheon Ball this year, they're going to announce that they're going to remove crystal loss from the game. I think that's like one of the big quality of life changes we're going to get this year. Is the secret technique to get Garmoth art by opening the reward pack? Is there a secret technique? You're asking the wrong guy. Garmoth has never once in her history put out for me. She's kind of a prude.
Outside of the super rare drops that could drop at any given moment, how much silver you can effectively make per hour is what it boils down to. What class are you playing? What location are you grinding in? How good are you at your class? BDO has extremely fun and engaging combat.
I think our PvE is really good. I think it continues to get better. I think as they begin to master like what players want in PvE, they've already mastered like end game progression, right? They understand how to keep us playing the game in a very long-term sense and constantly keep progression moving forward while keeping up with catch-up mechanics. But as far as making engaging PvE mechanics, I think they make meaningful strides every year. I'm actually so excited that the Calpheon Ball might actually introduce us to something like large-scale cooperative PvE content. Or even like raid, like 10-man PvE content, or even like really meaningful 5-man PvE content that isn't just the one dungeon. You know what I mean? Like maybe they make another dungeon would be great too. But like meaningful group cooperative content that is not just grinding in circles for mobs would be absolutely spectacular. I think that's the next step for them, and I'm really hoping that that's what they're going to give us next. However, I've been playing BDO for 6-7 years now. At the start, it was just one shot the pack, move to the next pack, and your favorite geometric shape was, of course, a circle. But like that was it, man. I started with Sausins and Pirates and all, and Elric Shrine and Helms and all that. Yeah, it's just miserable. Then I've seen them add mechanics over time in different different ways. I've seen them do like things like with Shirokon, they took risks where like they're daytime Shirokon mobs and nighttime Shirokon mobs. That didn't exactly work out super well, but they kind of fixed it over time. I've seen as they introduced things like Olin's Valley was one of the biggest things. Taros is one of the very first group grind spots as well. And then like they also tried something like bugs. You know, Mirawalk's Labyrinth is bugs, where you're all grinding like individually, but like there's like this greater sense that you're kind of grinding in a party so that you can all kill the boss together, and that's super cool. When is the Calpheon Ball? Very likely going to be in December, but we're not entirely certain yet. Nothing's been confirmed. But like, so like they've tried a lot of different things and a lot of different mechanics and stuff, and I think that they've done a really good job of like making the solo grind experience pretty good, and then like even the group grind experience very good, where you're just like going in circles and stuff. I think their next step, I really want to see what their next step is. So our end game PvE is good and like continues to be good because like we'll keep playing it. But I think that like adding meaningful end game raids and stuff is super important. Mainly because it would help us invest in the storyline. Do you have any idea how cool it would be? It's like, we have to go kill Elezra, boys. All right, buff up. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna go kill this bitch because she's in every single one of our quests. You know what I mean? Like like it would be really cool to have to go kill like band together and then go kill like a super terror form of like Zarka or something, like, you know what I mean? It's like Zarka's gonna take over the world and it's like starting to crawl through Serenia or something, and you have to battle your way to him. I don't know, anything like that would be super sick to do with your friends, and not just like in a world boss setting. That's boring as fuck, dude, where you just show up and it's just a loot pinata and you just hit it until it dies. No one wants to do that. We want to do mechanics. I want to have to shot call for it. I want to have to like actually coordinate. I want to call people primates. I want the good PvE content. Like I want Destiny 2 levels of raid mechanics, bro. That's what I want.
In pushing yourself to perform better.
Yeah, K-Rev's got it. Yeah, you beat me to it. Koala Snow, thanks so much for that reset for 8 months, buddy. What are we gonna name the baby? You know what I mean? Thanks, man.
During your grind session to pull more silver in that hour has become this player-created competition and prestige in itself. In fact, there's a whole gearing and itemization process behind maximizing your pulls. In the world of BDO,
a lot of people won't do dungeons if you can't teleport to them. Well, then add that. What? Just like party up and then, or like get into a platoon. It's like, okay, now we're gonna do the raid. It just TPs you to the raid. How hard is that? It's not that hard, right?
BDO, you have a lot of different grind spots, each with their own.
I don't think making raids mandatory in BDO would be a good thing. I didn't say make them mandatory. I said add them to the game. Are you telling me that feasibly that like having them as an option for getting your end game gear would be bad? Because currently they're not even an option. They're not even here, right? Like I think expanding this scope would allow more players to play the game, which improves everyone's play like experience. Because like the more players that play an MMO, the more alive the world feels, the better off you're gonna feel about your game. Right?
Unique character.
Like nobody wants to walk through Heidel and just like no one's there.
characteristics.
Never be bad. Exactly,
RNG,
be bad.
Some generate less silver but have chase items. Some are
That's not true. I feel like there's some end game content that could be really bad and detrimental to the game. So they don't want to add stuff for the sake of having different avenues to go down, but you do want to add meaningful things. If you add too many things, it feels overwhelming.
Are designed for experience gain. The buffing and nerfing of these zones are as significant as class balance, as there is a hyper focus on grinding from the player base, unlike any other modern day MMO. What about dungeons and raids? There are world bosses which you could count as raids, but these are just a show up, tag, get your loot like experience for the most
Loot pinatas.
part. Nothing special. Dungeons have been also added to the game over time, both gear equalized and non-equalized. Both offer some nice rewards, with the equalized version coming in with actual leaderboards as well. As much as it is that these are both a step in the right direction for real PvE content, I personally feel it still lacks in comparison.
Okay, we can still be friends. I was concerned he was going to get a duo ring there and I was going to have to report him.
And has a ways to go. The dungeon experience is more like a frustrating puzzle when trying to figure it out for the first time, and fights in general.
That's good. We like puzzles. I like puzzles that aren't just mindlessly trying to read quests and stuff. I think puzzles that engage like 4 or 5 players at a time and force people to do certain mechanics are like lots of fun. That shit's fun.
Aren't super clear with what's actually happening. If you're fighting a boss for the first time, chances are you're going to be taking damage to things you can't even see and be left in confusion. Generally speaking, I feel any PvE boss fight encounter...
Yeah, like the Magnus? Anybody? Okay. I like the Magnus, but like that's like solo player puzzles. You need to understand that there's a difference between like solo player puzzles and like 5-man puzzles where it's like you got to be standing on your points and these guys got to be DPSing or like this has to happen or that has to happen. I don't know. If you played Destiny 2, it's definitely kind of what we're looking for. And even in like some of the WoW raids are absolutely super fun as well.
Should have very clear telegraphed attacks for the most part, allowing the player to not wonder what the hell is actually happening. The boss blitzes, which was the latest edition featuring...
I think one of the biggest problems with adding like end game raids to BDO that makes the like players not give a shit about them as much is because our lore fucking blows. Right? Like you make this badass boss, but like we don't really know why we're killing it. Like in fucking WoW, they're like, it's like, all kings must die, my son. And you're like crying, you know, like, oh my God, I can't, no, you can't go. Like, it's like the storyline is so engaging, you know what I mean? And like in StarCraft 2, it was the exact same thing. In StarCraft 2, you felt so invested in like the mission that you were doing for the main story. And like, for BDO, it's just not there. You know what I mean? It's like you get to the end of your succession quest and you're like, Elethra again? No way. Like, it's just miserable, man. Like, nobody wants to do it. Nobody's invested in it. Rakanok, thanks so much for those 5 gifters, man. You're going huge today. Over to Zasmaz, Fenril, Confection, Ginger Purple, and Raptor Riot. Welcome to the squadron, guys. Thank you so much for those 5 gifters. Thank you. Yeah, I know, exactly. Oh my God, it's hers. Alezra can... Okay.
Leaderboards and equalized gear isn't...
I don't know what we expected from somebody that was named Cumby420.
Godsend PvE content. However, it is actually pretty fun, but more importantly, a big step in the right direction if you're a...
Yeah, true. Video slower. It's like, okay, let's hear killer shit. Exactly.
PvE Andy. Aside from PvP and PvE, life skilling is the last endgame category to cover. The purpose of any vertical progression and
we're actually putting the
MMO is to make currency. In BDO, you can choose to make that currency by investing it to life skilling. For people that have no interest in PvP or grinding mobs, life skilling is the third.
This was probably the most depressing part of my entire BDO career, is that they announced Margoria. This is the trailer for Margoria 1 and 2. Okay. They said that it was going to come in 2 waves. That the first wave, we were going to get the Carracks and bartering. And in the second wave, we were going to get deep sea diving, blue battlefield, and a few other things. And improvements on the first systems. That's why this person is in this deep sea diving set. And instead, we got nothing. We got the Carracks and the bartering, and then they were like, nah. Upon further investigation, we have realized that the ocean is literally hopeless. We are not making any more ocean content, and we are not actively pursuing any of the stuff that we talked about before. And I was just like, and like, this is the trailer. It's honestly depressing me just looking at it. Now we did get this outfit in game recently. It's like the deep sea diving outfit. I have it on my Witch, and you can transfer it between characters. That's really cool. But like, also, it's not like the deep sea. I was hoping I could walk around on slow-mo at the bottom of the ocean and just like, and like find some buried treasure, maybe blow the shit out of some pirates, and then their treasure sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and I have to put on my deep sea diving suit and like go way down and go get it and shit. Like, I was really hoping for like, oh my god, look at here's some like fruit of the deep sea down here. Here's some like elixir of the deep sea, you know, like all that fun stuff. We didn't get any of that shit, bro.
Sandbox MMO, you have a series of life skill trades that you can choose from. Each of these has its own path and gear. The more proficient you are, the more money you can make. Generally in BDO, any activity that requires more active play will net you more currency, while passive, even to the point of being completely AFK, will net you less.
That is 100% true. I love that he put it that way. I absolutely love that he put it that way. Like, the more active you are in the game, the more money you're typically going to make per hour. Okay? The less active you are in the game, the less money you're going to make per hour as a overall general rule. Okay? Bartering sits like here. You know what I mean? AFK horse training's like here. Like, farming is like there. You know what I mean? Like this it's a good rule of thumb.
Tracking market prices.
The fact that he understands that tells me he understands BDO.
Updates, finding hidden
that only makes sense. You have no idea how many players probably just said, oh my god, that's true.
Techniques to min-max your returns are all a part of, but not mandatory to be, a life skiller. This is where a lot of those complicated layers and systems really shine, by the way. If you can get over the hurdle and familiarize yourself with the systems that BDO has to offer.
Yeah, hate the minigames? I think you're in the vast minority that hates the minigames. I actually like the minigames, like, a lot. I think some of them could be, like, easier, to be honest, but, like, I think they added, like, engaging parts, and it, like, makes gathering way faster. Like, I've gathered for years, dude, and it takes... Sometimes, you're talking about gathering all day, man. It sucks, dude. Like, part of the reason I didn't want to do gathering for a super long time is because, like, do I want to do this all day today to like get a feasible amount of meat? Like, no, I don't want to do that. And so the mini games help with that tremendously. It also makes it more engaging. I disagree. How would you create a system for group raid content that really gear players couldn't just carry gearlets though? That is also engaging. You make DPS stop check mechanics. So we're like, you can DPS them to a certain point, but then, okay, like Callus in the Callus raid in Destiny was a good example. You couldn't really just burst Callus down for the vast majority of the Callus raid until Whisper of the Worm came out, and then it was like, okay, yeah, well, never mind. But like, they reworked it and everything. We're like, there's stop check mechanics where it's like, okay, you're gonna get white. Like, okay, we all have to go stand on this platform right here, and we have to shoot him, right? And then like, if he gets to a certain point, okay, he's gonna try to one-shot us, and we have to everybody has to jump to the next platform and continue to DPS. And if we die, we all start taking more tick damage over time, right? Like, and if everybody dies except for the 2 DPSers, they can't actually finish the job. Like, there's definitely ways that you could do this.
You'll have a deeper appreciation for the life skilling world. There are many people, even now, that have found something in the game that generates them billions of silver, and they found these by just doing a little bit of digging. And of course,
I'll be honest with you, I discovered one of the highest money-making strategies in the game. At the time, it was the best money-making strategy in the game. I was the only person in the world that knew how to do it. Nowadays it's common knowledge, so I can share it, but it's Spirit Perfume Elixir. Back in the day when Kama Sylvia first came out, Spirit Perfume Elixir was released, but the developers messed up the developer note into how to gather the dead tree essence, and so no one understood how to do it. No one could figure it out, and so like only 20 had ever really been sold on the central market before. And then one day, at this time, I was like a wee life skiller. This is a long time ago. I was a PVX lord. I wasn't really trying. I was just like, I'm going to make everything myself no matter what. I'm going to make it from scratch. I don't care. I'm going to gather it. I'm going to figure out how, because it taught, and this was fundamental in like learning like the systems of the game and understanding like vast amounts of knowledge about the game that is probably completely unusable, but like also makes me educated about the game. Anyway, I was making weenie loony elixir. Yeah, I know. Surging weenie. Okay. Yeah, for that you need a special type of sap called moss. You need moss tree sap. Okay. Well, all the guides online didn't have any idea where the moss trees were, so I had to go out and find them. So I went to Kama Sylvia and I like started looking around for moss trees, and I happened to stumble upon a tree, and I look over to my right, and there's this weird, like, ethereal phantom figure appears in front of this tree next to me, like, sucks the essence out of the tree, and then just disappears. And I was like, the fuck? And I like, walked over to the tree, and I couldn't use my, my suck tool on it. I couldn't use the fluid collector on it. I could only axe it. It's the first tree in the whole game I ever found like that. Normally, you can do one or the other. And I was like, out of sheer morbid curiosity, I took out my axe and I axed the tree, and I got a dead tree essence, and I was like, hold up. And then he appeared at another tree like 2 seconds later, and I was like, you know, and so I axed that one. I got another dead tree. I was like, oh, sick. I discovered how to make spirit perfume elixir. Like, everybody knew the recipe. Everybody knew the recipe, but nobody knew how to get dead tree essence. But because I had dove into the world and tried to figure out something for myself, I discovered something like that silver per hour was juice. That was the best silver per hour, because that was the first one. I listed 1,000 spirit perfumes, and everyone looked at the market like, what the fuck? They were bought instantly at max price, which was like crazy profit back then. And I just kept doing it. I would just, that's fully, I called them a utensil's worth, because I would make like 900 at a time, because that's how much an advanced alchemy utensil can actually make at a time. It was crazy. I was cranking out billions, bro. My pen ruins ring was brought to you by spirit perfume elixir. You know what I mean? And eventually people caught on to it, and it was worth less money over time. It's still really good money nowadays, but like everybody knows how to do it. But like at the time, that was like, super special, and it was like very rewarding to like go out into the world. I felt like I truly experienced what the developers wanted me to experience in that moment. Like, they hide stuff from us for a reason. They want players to go out, explore, experience the world, and like, you know, find Easter eggs in the game that like, oh, I know how to do this, but no other players do, so like I can make money off of it. I think that's kind of like something that's been lost over the years, but like, I don't know, it's just an essence of the game that I think is actually just fundamental and like super cool.
Of course, these players won't share this information with you.
I just shared it with you, don't worry.
So that their market doesn't get destroyed. Historically, the richest players in BDO always were life skillers. This has a lot to do with taking...
That's how I would describe Biohack, a life skiller. If you consider enhancing Reblath life skilling, then yes, the richest people in the game are life skillers. He used to gather meat all day. No, you misunderstand Tinian. Before he gathered meat, he used to be a trader. And like not a trader. Not a trader. A trader. Okay. He was a trader. Okay. He was a big active trader back in the day. Or like passive and active. Well, no, not active. Passive trade. He made crates. He moved the crates from one region to another. That's how he did.
Advantage of markets, but also sustainability. Active grinding will always net you the most silver per hour. However, it's not possible to generate silver via grinding 24/7, but you can with life skilling.
What? Wait, what? Hold up.
Active grinding will always net you the most silver per hour. However, it's not possible to generate silver via grinding 24/7, but you can.
What? Hold up. There's no shot. He had to have. I don't think he was thinking. Like, there's no way. There's no way he just said that. Like, it's like, I'm trying to think of like. Kanon, I'm trying to help you out here, man. There's like, actually, I can't save you. You absolutely can grind 24/7 and make a load of money. Like, absolutely. 100%. There's nothing stopping you from just round the clock. You're going to run out of Agris. You're probably going to run out of loot scrolls eventually, but you're still going to make a lot of money. Like, you can even go to non-loot scroll spots and just 24/7 grind all the time. Like, you probably meant gathering? No, you can't gather. But see, that's the thing. Is that, like, he's talking about gathering right now? You can't gather around the clock. You're going to run out of energy. Like, that is means literal 24/7. You have to sleep. Well, you have to sleep for life skilling too. He can't mean that. There ain't no way he means that. Like, that's 24/7 like Choice does. Exactly. What's up, Pansy? How you doing, buddy? We love Pansy. I thought about reviewing one of your videos, Pansy, but it's literally like a choose your class guide, and I was like, I don't really want to take away the that video is already doing really well. It's already got the visibility, you know, like I don't know, like I can't like add to it. It's just like, yep, he's right. Yep, absolutely. If you guys don't know, Pansy's YouTube channel has all kinds of great information. I should go check it out too.
With life skilling, creating passive income to give yourself a super chill experience by playing BDO is what a lot of people do in this game. Creating a passive income to give yourself a super chill experience playing BDO is what a lot of people do in this game. You can 100% tailor your playstyle to
Did he just say that twice? Wait.
However, it's not possible to generate silver via grinding 24/7, but you can with life skilling. Creating passive income to give yourself a super chill experience by playing BDO is what a lot of people do in this game. Creating a passive income to give yourself a super chill experience playing BDO is what a lot of people do in this game. You can 100% tailor your playstyle.
I thought I hit the button. I thought I hit the button. Kanon is just mindlessly reading a script right now. He typed the same sentence twice. I guarantee it. I've done this before. You type the same sentence twice because you're like really tired or whatever, and he's just reading the words, man. He's just reading the words. I love you, Kanon. Shit. I've been there, my dude. He's good. He does have a good editor. Fake you. He's a great editor.
Time you have available to play the game. If you can only actively play for 3 hours, but you can be on and off for the rest of the day,
that's
you
my
can
girl.
Find something that matches that. You're not shit out of luck by not being able to play the game actively for more than 2 straight hours. Various forms of vertical progression are present in Black Desert.
Okay.
You can choose to enhance gear for the purpose of PvP.
Holy shit.
PvE, or for life skilling. However, the process of enhancing gear historically has had a very negative stigma surrounding it. Black Desert is getting...
I don't know about that. I would say all of our top clips in the category are all just, oh my god, I hit another Pandebo. Like, it is what it is. Like, we love that dopamine hit. It's 50-50 whether or not it goes. You know what I mean?
Close to 10 years now since it's been out, and it has certainly made improvements in that time to its enhancing process. For 99% of the player base after graduating the season, you'll be able to simply purchase all of your gear with silver.
Which one is easier, guys? You tell me. Does this look like it's easier?
Historically,
both one easy click
surrounding it. Black Desert is
both of them are one easy click. This one's just lose 3.5 bill
now since it's been out. For 99%,
and this one is one easy click, guaranteed.
You'll
easy,
be able to
done.
Simply purchase all of your gear with silver.
Why didn't I think of that?
Make silver, buy from the auction house. It's that simple. The actual process of crafting gear yourself, however,
hit it again.
Where all of the frustration lies. When enhancing your gear, you'll risk having the piece downgrade on failure.
Oh
this
yeah,
can
just
be
give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
Mat that will allow you.
It hurts so good.
To protect your attempt.
It hurts
Pretty
so
much
good.
pay more silver so that your gear.
Jitsi, thanks so much for that reset for 2 months, buddy. I really appreciate that. Welcome back to the squadron, man. Tori JJ, I just finished another node work. Got 45, 34 deaths. Yeah, Tori, I was watching part of it, believe it or not. I was one of your viewers there. I was just lurking though. I didn't want to distract you.
Gear doesn't downgrade if you fail. Failing enhancements, by the way, are a major part of the game. When failing enhancements, you create what's called a fail stack. The higher the fail stack, the higher percentage.
Why would you? All right, it's just a little thing. But if you've got your Crondom on, you're not going to get any fail stacks. Just to be clear to anybody that might be new watching this.
What's called a fail stack. The higher the fail stack, the higher percentage chance.
You just succeed either way, and then the fail stacks go to 0. Honestly, I don't. Who made this? This is Kanon's honest review of Black Desert Online, edited by Fake Uniform.
Added to whatever piece of gear you're trying to upgrade. These are extremely important for the end game. Furthermore, when it comes to accessories, these are the only items in the game that will literally blow up upon failure when enhancing. These accessories...
Not if you put your condom on first!
...will be protected, but not to the extent of gear. You can use the protection that...
It wasn't even in Discord. Did you see that?
...will be protected,
you see
but
that?
Not to the extent...
What kind of communist doesn't get in Discord so that the homies can watch you fail? A fundamental aspect of being in a guild is you don't tap shit like this unless you're sitting in comms with the boys. Okay? It's not fair. The rest of us need to watch one way or the other. We need this dopamine hit just as much as you do.
Of gear.
Deserved to fail it. I'm just saying.
To prevent
not in with the boys. Yeah, see? See? Big true. Thank you, Ingenium.
Blowing up.
Blue can't do that anymore. That was hurtful. That was I'm catching strays right now. That was hurtful.
It will have a 40% chance to down.
Yes, he can. You bet your ass. Okay. Yeah, see, he wasn't in voice for this one either, so honestly, it just doesn't count.
Downgrade. Enhancing accessories is one of the biggest money sinks in the game. As cancerous as blowing up and downgrading sounds, I should reiterate that you can simply buy...
No. This is the dark place, Simba. I don't want to go there. No. I had a tent demo for those of you that don't know. I was hitting it on my birthday. And I'm like, woo, pen, here we go. Downgraded to tribe. Downgraded to duo. Downgraded to pry. Downgraded to base. I hit it like 4 times and it downgraded every single time. Turboed straight to nothing. It was pretty rough, dude. I hate it.
Almost everything. BDO is widely known to be the gold standard when it comes to action combat in the MMORPG genre. While there are abilities that can be placed on the hotbar and bound, for the most part, this is a key input game, forcing you to learn the button combinations to perform skills. A lot of people will say that this is the closest thing to a fighting game in terms of combat when it comes.
That's big true. Also, that's the funnest witch skill to use right there.
To MMOs, and that's largely in part due to its core CC and combo system. Certain skills flow together with other skills, and each ability provides unique CCs or protections against CCs. Comboing abilities strategically, paying attention to CCs, and utilize...
That's not true. I can play Striker, and my dog can step on my keyboard and win. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, I got a wireless keyboard now. So on Awakening Witch, I don't have to worry about the cable anymore. I can kind of just pick it up and then turn it over and then just smash it repeatedly against the desk with impunity and kill my opponents.
Raises the skill cap on this game to degrees unmatched, in my opinion, in any MMO.
Highly recommend.
In PvE, you want to rotate your skills in a way allowing you to position yourself properly and setting up buffs for your big damage.
Watching Mystic, even in this short, it just makes me want to tag a Mystic.
Skills to nuke. Doing this while weaving movement skills and self-sustaining skills is a must. PvP wise, you not only have to cycle your movement in a way that you are protected from CCs,
that was a good grab.
You also have to find ways to quickly engage to catch your target via ACC, following that up with a maximum damage combo depending on how you caught them. And the pacing...
He actually got him with uppercut, bro. What?
Can be really fast. Of course, there are more complexities and strategies to this, but generally speaking, this would be the
combo the best there. But
moving on to...
Did that guy just die to mobs?
To the biggest stigma surrounding Black
Desert. Oh my
Desert.
god, like the mob walked over and was just like 1-0, bozo.
In the mainstream MMO community is the monetization and pay to win elements. How pay to win is it really? Again, like many other things mentioned in this video, there have been a lot of improvements in the current version when compared to the past. But rather than drawing comparisons to its past, I want to focus only on what it is now. The best way I can describe it is that there are two cash
Duck, yeah, I immediately checked the chat to see if Clancy was here, because for whatever reason, every day Clancy just sends me a new picture of a duck. At this point, I don't, like, it got so, I thought it was like funny at first, and then like at this point I'm like, I don't really know what to do. So Clancy, if I'm supposed to be reciprocating the duck, you just need to tell me at this point. I don't know what to do anymore.
Shop categories to this. One is the pay to win, while the other is pay to convenience. Starting with the...
Have you tried bartering for money? Yeah. I have 2 Carracks. I have a fully geared advance. I barter all the time. I like bartering. It's fun. It's not necessarily the best money in the game, but it's good. Like the buffs and the quality of life changes recently really helped it.
Pay to win, a very easy to understand breakdown is that there are absolutely pay to win.
How much you make each refresh? If you spend the crow coins that you make and you go all the way to 0 parlay, at least 500 probably mil. But like you're typically not going to do that every time, so on average like 400 mil.
Items in the cash shop. These outfits are your costumes that are present
around 300 mil. Yeah, 500 mil at the most, but it's not sustainable. 400 mil on average, because I have every single barter route opened up and a really high bartering level, so I can do a lot of barters
in any game. The only difference in BDO is that you can either sell these outfits for silver currency or break them down for enhancement mats called cronstones, specifically used to protect your enhancements from downgrading. There are limits to how many you can sell for silver, however, up to a maximum of 35 outfits per week. The reality is that in the early and mid game, you can absolutely swipe and gain a big advantage, speeding your progression. This, however, has less significance now, since all veteran players are well past the threshold that you'd realistically...
That was an old clip. Look at that. Hold up.
Now, since all veteran players are well...
He's selling that thing for 335 mil. Damn. Damn. Oh, the good old days, bros. Holy shit.
Past the threshold that you'd realistically want to swipe to. You can, of course, continue to swipe forever.
Yeah, to be clear to new players out there, yeah, you can swipe early on and like, oh, now I have my full pen Tuvala a day earlier because I spent $180. Like, okay, like whatever, dude. And then like, okay, I got my pens like a week earlier or like a few weeks earlier just because I swiped, but like that, it's really not going to make all that big of a difference. Yeah, you get an accelerated growth curve very early on, but like you're talking about days, man. Like maybe a couple weeks. Like it's really not that big of a deal. I would say a good metric is like, I would say your grinding is about $40 US an hour. So you can either spend $40 or you can go grind for an hour. Take your pick. You know what I mean? I think most people are going to say, yeah, fuck that. Yeah, we're just going to go grind. And so I think that the pay to win in BDO is there, yeah, but like it's like at a reasonable metric. It's at a reasonable standard. So like
until you reach hard cap, but the amount of money you have to spend for what you get in return really won't feel worth it. We're talking thousands of dollars for barely any upgrades at the end game. If you suck at playing your class, it doesn't matter how good your gear is. Hashtag Kyther. Enough hours playing BDO, you'll quickly realize that there isn't that much temptation to purchase the pay-to-win outfits in the cash shop. Usually when you're able to get upgrades regularly. Do you recommend life skilling in an alt or a main? I honestly, like, I think you should do it on your main when you start out. But like, as you kind of get more into life skilling and you want to take it more hardcore, definitely like get some alts for it. Definitely get some alts for it. Clearly, by playing the game, you're less pressured into swipe. Like, there's definitely serious advantages to having life skilling it on your main. Like, for sure. Especially when it comes to like node wars and stuff, your tap times really matter. Also, like you're gonna have to process, you're gonna have to life skill out in the world from time to time on your main, and you're not gonna want to have to go get your other character to go do that. So like sailing and stuff though, yeah, you should have an ult for that. You know what I mean? AFK ult, probably should have an AFK ult for that. But like once your main is at a reasonable level, my witch is already master on most of the life skill, master artisan, most of the life skills. So now I can use an ult for stuff. Like once you're at that point, you can start branching out. for them. Instead, you'll be much more tempted to spend your money on the convenience items. Black Desert aggressively monetizes its convenience items. Let's not pretend that they don't. These items are just way too good. The impact of these items are consistent with the impact of the convenience items in Path of Exile, for example. You'll see discounted deals all the time with coupons thrown at you, tempting you to make those purchases. However, these convenience items are very useful and are one-time purchases.
And they always give you this shit in game for free, to be clear, with the exception of weight, which I'm fairly certain they have never given away for free, and the campsite, which they've never given away for free. Like, they basically give you enough inventory to fill entire characters. You know, they give you enough maids, you should just never have to buy them. You know what I mean? Like, most of this stuff they're just going to give you, but like, if you want to buy more, you can. I think they understand that what Kanon is saying is true. They're overly pushed on you. Like, these are not like convenient, like pets are not convenience, right? But like, I think the developers have also realized this, and that's why they give us a lot of pets for free. That's why they give us a lot of maids for free. That's why they give us a lot of inventory for free, right? Because they don't want to feel people have to necessarily spend money. But like, there should be like a line where it's like, if they do spend money, they should feel like they're getting their money's worth.
Purchases that are applied to your account forever. Paying for these items are
exactly,
no different from paying for convenience items you'd pay for in Path of Exile. Now, to be fair, I should mention that there are also some really good convenience items that are only unlockable in the game as long-term chase.
How do I get the glowy eyes on my Orzeka? I know it's a quest, but I don't know how to do it, and it's hurting my feelings right at this moment. It hurts my feelings.
Items as well. Now, when it comes to swiping, one of the worst feelings is spending thousands in an MMO, looking back a year or two later and knowing that the items you swipe for have zero value now. The convenience items in BDO will always maintain their value so long as you
dopamine
play the game. Furthermore, Pearl Abyss also gives out most of those convenience items for free over time, regularly in fact. If you're okay with playing the long game, you never have to spend items that are exclusive to the cash shop. This is the reality of the monetization when it comes to BDO from the perspective of a regular player. The final section to cover here would be the team and events. BDO is one of the very few MMOs where the general opinion of its player base praises its regional team. This team,
big true. Yeah, our GM team is the best I've ever seen in any game.
Being their CMs and GMs. You'll get old school MMO vibes here with CMs and GMs actually being
F's in chat for Delphi.
Active in game and in Twitch streams, interacting and helping their players. On top of this, Pearl Abyss does a great job giving its players.
Is that is Etsu sitting next to Delph? That might be Wizardry. It says Wizardry, but no, it says Delphi, but it's off. Wizardry apparently is over there. We just can't see him. He's like off screen. He's hidden by the Targaryen.
There's something fresh to do by providing weekly updates. Every week you can expect to have some kind of event, maybe a new event.
What happened to Delphi? I still talk to him very regularly. I was gonna have him on the podcast this week. I need to. He is he's with another company now. He left on very good terms from Pearl Abyss. And he's helping out a different company now. That's about as much as I can say about it.
Event zone that pops up where you're incentivized to fish, or a special boss, or an NPC that's available to give rewards for completing certain objectives. Maybe drop rates that are juiced this week, incentivizing grinding in special locations. Or maybe there's a tagging event allowing you to essentially try any class.
I just want to point out that this is the same GM team that you all just fucking turbo constantly. You guys, like, whenever there's complaints about the game, you guys just start teabagging the CMs. Usually GM, because everybody considers them developers. They are not developers.
Free with your current endgame gear. Now, these weekly updates are obviously not going to reach expansion level content, but having something new and fresh to check out on a week-to-week basis for any live service game is definitely a W. And that's going to pretty much do it for this one. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. Also, let me know what MMOs you guys would like me to dive into and review, whether they're new or old. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.
That was really good. That was a really good outro. We love it. Guys, here's the video right here. Go give it a thumbs up, comment, interact with the video. Obviously, we love Kanon. He's one of the Lost Ark creators that came over, and he's been doing an absolutely fantastic job making content for our game. We respect the hell out of him.